guys, Sifu Adalik here from Kung Fu at Home. I wanted to talk to you today about something that's really been bugging me lately a lot. Because the style that I teach is 7-star Praying Mantis Kung Fu, and what's most notable about that style is the mantis hooking block. When people see it, they recognize the style right away based on the hooking blocks they see in the mantis shape. And the problem I have is that it seems like the majority, maybe not quite that much, but a lot of mantis practitioners or people who claim to be practitioners don't actually do this block properly, which is kind of ironic because it's the main signature move in the series for people who don't really know what they're looking at. That's how they recognize the system, and it's done improperly most of the time. It's done without function. You know, a lot of times you might see it online. People who are claiming to be teaching it might even show it as like kind of like a beak type thing that you would use to poke or jab, which is not the effective way to do the block. It's not the actual proper technique. And a lot of times you'll see practitioners do it with the fingers kind of hanging out like this, which I think is a little bit more cinematic. You see it done this way by a lot of wushu practitioners who are kind of doing it more for a display, for a visual art form. Or you see it, like I said, kind of done cinematically in the movies, and that way it kind of looks more mantis-y. But this doesn't actually have a real effective application to it compared to the actual traditional version of the hook, which is done like this, with the 3 fingers being together. And there's a reason for this. So if I explain this to you today, my hope is that you'll implement this into your training already. If you're not training mantis, but you're training other styles and you wanted to implement this block into what you're training, it's a neat thing to do because it's quite an effective block. It's an advanced variation of more traditional blocks, inside blocks that might look like this, or this, or this, or this, or whatever. The mantis hand is just a little more versatile and a little more intricate in some of the movements. So it's a more advanced way to doing it. But the reason for this is not just for what it looks like. It actually has an effective thing which I'm going to share with you today. It has an effective application to it. So the first reason we're going to cover why the mantis hooking block isn't like this is because this doesn't actually do anything with the block. The whole point of this block is after you deflect some kind of strike that's coming in, you would use the last 3 fingers in order to control the punch. So once a punch is coming in and you block it, the 3 fingers adhere to the hand, making it seem like you're actually sticking on. And it can be used to pull the person off balance really quickly if you do it properly. If you train the fingers like this, it doesn't have that same pull to it. So you want to make sure that your fingers are curled in this way. And these 3 fingers are the dominant pulling fingers. That's all that's really needed. And the reason why this is a little more efficient than a full grab is because it's not overly committed. Whereas if you're doing a full grab like this, a lot of people know the chin-out joint lock reversal to this. They know if they can control the finger, they can wrap the hand up, and it causes a painful joint lock. So that's one of the negative aspects to doing a full grab. Whereas the mantis hooking block is a little quicker, and you don't really need to use all the fingers to pull the person off balance in a split second. You only need these 3 fingers and the thumb to quickly hook on and attach. And actually the thumb is really not used that much when you know the proper use of the forearm, which we'll get into later as well. Okay, so if you're practicing this, use the 3 fingers together, and the index finger kind of trails along separately like that. It's not pointing out straight like this, because if you have a straight finger like that and someone grabs it, it's going to get broken. So you don't want to do that. You want to curl these fingers in. And then the last step to that is the thumb pushes in the middle knuckle right there of the index finger, and then the wrist hooks down, and you keep the pressure on with that thumb. So completing that block, when you hook the 3 fingers, when you put the pressure on, push in the middle of the index finger, it's going to strengthen your finger and strengthen your thumb at the same time. So that completes the block right there. This finger is slightly separate. These 3 are the main pulling fingers that actually pull the hand in, and this one is separate as well. The reason you don't want to have this in tight like that together is because then you're overcommitting and you're making it more of a grab. You want that finger separate, so when you hook, the finger is separate, but you don't want it straight. If you straighten the finger like that and someone grabs onto it, they're going to break it very easily. Whereas if you curl the finger in slightly like that, it's harder to manipulate, and it's easier to just move your hand if someone does try to grab your finger to break it. So that's the reason for that there. So when you practice this, just open the hands up like that, curl the finger in one at a time. First the pinky finger, then the ring finger, then the middle finger, and then connect the thumb in the middle of the index finger, and then bend your wrist, just like that, okay? Try it with the other hand. So hold your hand up like this. 1, 2, 3, and then push in the middle of the index finger, and then hook your wrist down, just like that, okay? Try that again. 1, 2, 3, push, and then bend the wrist, and then drop the elbow. So that's the first part of this. In part 2, we're going to cover how to control the form and also the right angle, because there's also some misconceptions and misunderstandings about the position of where the arm should be. So we're going to cover that in the second segment.